Hello, everyone. I'm Stacey Dunn-Emke with NutritionJobs, and we've got a fantastic topic today, and that is Dietitian Job Trends for 2024. This is one of my favorite events. We do it every year. We look at different job trends that are happening and that can help inform or just give you some ideas about how this could affect your career, how you want to spend your day working, how you can make money as a dietitian. I have a very special guest with me who is going to be walking us through a lot of these trends, and that is Holly Larson. Welcome, Holly.
Hi, Stacy. Thanks for having me.
Always a pleasure. So, Holly and I have been doing this for a few years.
Mhm.
Holly is a really great person who's got her ear to the ground. She's in all the Facebook groups with the dietitians. She understands what is trending, what people, consumers, and dietitians are thinking about as it pertains to our profession, our practice, how we work as dietitians. And I like to just keep my ear to the ground also with the industry. I like to know what's happening with business, with marketing, B2B, B2C. I like to sort of keep up to date with all that stuff. So between the two of us, we've got some really juicy insights on how these trends can impact your dietitian job in 2024. So should we get started?
Let's do it.
Alrighty. Holly, I'm going to have you say a little bit more about you. Do you want to give us some insight on how you can help people?
Yeah. So I am a registered dietitian, and my place in the world working is as a copywriter. So that's how part of how I'm paying attention to what people are asking about so that I can help my clients, like you, Stacy. Thank you. But a lot of my clients are dietitians who help people one to one in nutrition counseling or in group settings. So, as we are deciding what kind of topics we cover for their blog posts, we want to make sure that people are interested in that topic. So, thinking about trends, part of that is paying attention to data with things like keyword research. Are people actually interested in this topic or not? Um, so our predictions that Stacey and I have put our heads together about are based on chatting with people in industry, like you said, Stacey, chatting with our clients, looking at keyword research data, what's being chatted about in Facebook groups. And it's fun. And knowing what the trends are helpful for everyone listening so that you might know what kind of questions you're going to get from your clients so that you can be prepared to answer and to have your viewpoint on whatever topic.
Yeah, I think that's a really great way to describe it. And you said one thing that I thought was important, and when we're speaking to a mass audience, if we're a blogger or a writer, we're using the keyword search to inform what we're going to be writing about and how we're going to be answering their questions. And I think what you said was that is one of the trends that we could identify just through keyword search, looking at what's trending up and what's trending down. So not just the keyword itself, but what direction it's going to. You know, there's
Mhm.
some areas where it's on the upswing, and then there's some areas where it's on the downswing, which we're not going to talk about. Or you could look at what some of those trends were from the previous year. So a lot of this is research, a lot of it's ear to the ground. So yeah, that's how we're sort of bringing about. And so Holly does a lot of writing for me for Nutrition Jobs. She does for other dietitians as well and other health professionals. And she's going to tell a little bit more about her business. Do you want to say that now, or do you want to do that later?
Let's do that at the end. Let's talk about
Okay,
trends.
that sounds good. Let's get into the trends. Okay, so this article on dietitian job trends lives over on nutritionjobs.com, and you can find it over on the homepage under dietitian job trends. I'll send everybody, I'll put a link in the description to this and the show notes for everyone there too. And it goes through the whole list. I actually have one big blog article that is a running list of all of the dietitian job trends, and if you scroll on down to the bottom, you'll see what we had for 2023. You'll see what we had for 2022. You'll see what we had for previous years. So it's a really fun way to see what was trending way back when and how maybe that is moving in which direction. Is it getting less informed, or is it getting more prevalent, whatever it might be. So it's kind of a fun way to look back on the trends. So that is the article. You can that we have all this information in. Today we're going to highlight some of the ones that we think are going to be super impactful. There are a few that we are not really going to address in our 30 minutes today, but you can find all of those on the article. So I thought, you know what, I want to find out like what other people are thinking about dietitian job trends. I love them. I think they're super important. Well, it turns out in my poll, you guys think so too. So there were, I just looked at it this morning, there were about closer to 200 votes. The majority of us really are interested in job trends and how they can inform, transform your career as a dietitian. So if you are tuned in, you're not the only one that's interested in this topic. So I thought that was helpful and interesting, but I did think it was funny that 9% are like, no, they're not useful. Okay, whatever.
They're probably not attending the talk today.
They are probably not attending. Oh, maybe they are. So let's dive into the one I think that is super, super interesting. This has been trending for a while, and that is the topic of salary transparency. I think there's a total of 8 states that require employers to put the salary information in the job advertisement when it's advertised online or in print or wherever it might be. There are about 16 states that are considering it as well. California is one of the states. New York, Connecticut, Washington, Colorado are the ones that do require it. But Holly's going to talk a little bit more about, what that means from the perspective of the consumer. Like what are we all thinking about salary transparency as actual job seekers?
Gosh, this is so important, especially because we're in a field that's dominated by women, and women across the board on average are paid less than men. So salary secrecy protects the people who are benefiting from it. So salary transparency helps to level the playing field and stop with discrimination against women, people of color, all the people who tend to not be paid fairly and equally. We're getting a lot better at talking about salary, but it's still something that feels pretty tricky. But especially for new grads or people who are beginning their career, knowing about salary information is so important so that you are starting things off on the right foot, because raises are based on where you started with your salary. Going to another job might be based on that previous salary. So we want to get fair compensation for the hard work that you're doing as soon as possible.
Yeah, this is a great one. And it's a topic that both Holly and I feel very passionate about. Holly felt so passionate that she started an entire symposium all about talking about money as dietitians. And she did that last year. It was very successful. There were a lot of great speakers talking about salary and compensation, how we can make more money as dietitians. As you guys know, I've got modules on how to negotiate for more compensation and how to feel comfortable about that and know that it's just business. And there are a few different resources that people can use as dietitians that can inform your salary or have an understanding about that. So the Academy has a salary calculator based on a survey that they send out every couple of years. That's a scientifically validated project that gives some really good details about what salary somebody might have in a certain area, in a certain niche, clinical dietetics or food service or outpatient or business. I want to take it one step further because both Holly and I have been talking about how we can really understand what different sort of niche job titles could provide for salary information, just giving people an idea of what's out there. And I yesterday just launched a new site. It's a little sister site. It's not perfect right now. It has some bugs in it, and it's totally bootstrapped. It's a little homegrown. But the idea is that I want to know what people's salaries are for every single job that they have, whether it's a food writer, a clinical dietitian working in oncology in Nevada, like all the details in real time. It's not scientifically validated, of course. It's just real time data, and I'm super excited to be launching it. It's called dietitiansalaries.com. And my whole thing is that to grow, we need to know. And so today is like the big introduction of it, just literally
Yay!
finished hours ago. And you just log in. Well, actually, what you do is you complete a survey of your salary. It takes just like a minute or two, doesn't take much time. And then that data becomes available. It's 100% anonymous. I don't even see like who's entering in the information. And then you get a sample, you get a report of those people who have entered in the information. So it can really give you some ideas about different job titles, because the average salary of dietitians is around it's about 68,000 a year. The number varies depending on where that information is coming from. But there are a lot of people that make more than that. And I think it's great to know what type of job they have, where it is a higher salary, what is the job title, and where are they doing this, what about them makes them able to command a higher salary. So I think what we know can be very, very helpful. So so that's sort of in line with our salary transparency and understanding that. So I hope you guys can all check it out. It's dietitiansalaries.com. If there's some bugs, let me know. And I'll see if I can update them or make the edits, but I hope that you guys can all participate in that.
Congrats on your launch, Stacey.
I know. Thank you
I
so
think
much.
it's easy to feel frustrated by all of the rules that are underpaid. But it can be really helpful to be inspired by the roles that are fairly compensated at an inspiring level, because that can help make it feel more possible for ourselves. So congrats on your launch.
Yeah, I think you brought up something really important, and it's all part of the transparency trend, is that while we may hear about someone whose salary is very low in certain parts of the country, that's not the majority of us, right? Like that's the 68,000 may be the average, but it doesn't mean that that has to be your salary. And I hear a lot of people complaining about a lower salary, which may be true, but I want to be able to present options from real people with real salaries, real unique job titles, and see what's out there. We'll see what else is out there. Don't feel stuck. Just be informed. So I know I'm super excited about that. Okay, on to our next fun topic. This is, I could spend an entire day just talking about artificial intelligence. And so it was a no-brainer that this is a trend that's going to continue. It's certainly on in the upswing. I have been a huge proponent for dietitians to be able to use some of the AI, the artificial intelligence applications that are out there. I think the one that's most well known is ChatGTP, and also there's a few other ones. Jasper. There's a lot of ones for images. But Holly, do you want to say what your thoughts are about this and what your research uncovered?
I feel like when ChatGPT came around, it just made these huge waves, and a lot of copywriters were really worried about not having work. That was the fear that came up. That wasn't my fear. I know I'm a good writer, and I use some AI. It depends on the article and what I'm working on. I think of AI as like a tool. My partner is a carpenter, so he uses all kinds of tools. He uses electric saws, he uses drills, impact drivers. I should use his vocab. So he still has to be a good carpenter. He has to measure accurately and know how all of these things go together. So the tools help him do his work more efficiently, with more speed. But they're not a replacement for his savvy and know-how and experience to know how all of those things go together. And that's how I feel for myself too. There are some applications where writing assistance, I use Jasper, helps to speed things up, but it's not a replacement for me. It's not a replacement for my strategy or keyword know-how or anything like that. So I know people have all kinds of opinions about AI, and there are some things that we need to figure out in terms of where you're using it and how, but I just think of it as a tool.
Yeah, I agree. I love it. I'm addicted. I think I just love it. I learned about it from my son, who had described to me how he was building a computer in Minecraft Redstone. And if any of you are into Minecraft or you have children that are into Minecraft, you'll know that that's kind of a big thing. And he said that he got stuck on some coding, and so he asked Chat GTP, and I said, "Who's that?" And he explained to me. I'm like, "Really? Show me." And he showed me, and I was just like blown away. And I think I've been using it every day since. And I know for food bloggers, it can be very, very helpful. And I want to bring in the topic of what other people think about it, and the other person in the room would be Google. Like, what does Google search think about it? And I think at first there were some, like, put up some barriers, and then I think that there was a change in that. But the idea is that artificial intelligence applications, ChatGPT, Jasper, a bunch of different ones, are there to help you write. They're not there to help you think. They're not there to provide your exact wording, your exact voice, your exact tone. You can give them templates, you can give them instructions and prompts to help to make it seem very similar to yours, but you will always be going through the final product with your eyeballs, your brain, your thinker, and having that be the final product. And I think that's sort of what is important to any of this, is that the human creativity is just off the charts. And we can inform our artificial intelligence applications what we want them to, how we want them to think. They serve us, and we can inform them how we want them to serve us. And so I think that's sort of the nuanced part of that we can really take advantage as dietitians to help make our work easier, our jobs easier, are being more time efficient, doing tasks that take some time, a lot of thinking, or a lot of not really thinking, but sort of a lot of effort that can then free up your time for more creative thinking type work. So I'm such a huge proponent of it. It also works for job searching, and I've got lots of different articles on NutritionJobs.com how you can use that. So one of the ones that I just figured out recently was that recruiters like to see resumes in a certain format. They like to have things sort of in reverse chronological order. They want to have things very easy to identify: your education, your volunteer work, your skills, your education, maybe a professional summary about yourself. And so I have a template. Nutrition Jobs has a template that you can use for that. But think about, like, if you've already got your resume written in one format and you want to format it in a different format, what you can do is copy my template, put that into Chat GTP, and tell it you want to then reformat your existing resume. And it can be a PDF, it can be, you could just copy all of it and have it spit out your resume in the desired template that recruiters like to see. And I just think that's magic, right? Like, how much time would that take you to do? And you could just have Chat GTP do that for you. I've got instructions on how to do that. So I just, I think our creativity is the only limitation to how we can use this to help our jobs as dietitians.
One newer application of AI, Practice Better, just launched a charting assist, which is really cool. So that for dietitians who are doing telehealth, it doesn't work for in-person, but as you're doing a video call, they are recording everything that is said and will organize it into a draft note in the format of your choosing, SOAP or ADIME, so that frees up your mental bandwidth to focus better on the client interaction. So I think that's really cool. So of course you're still going to go through and make sure everything that's noted is accurate and reflective of what happened in the meeting. But that's such a nice application of AI to make a better client experience so that you're more present and focused with your client and also not spending hours and hours charting after the sessions are over.
That's so true. I think, again, just being able to use artificial intelligence to do some of the more heavy work, well, you can do that massive creative work. And again, that's what our genius is as humans. I love to use the application called Rev, to do transcription. So
Mhm.
after we're done with this, I will upload it into YouTube, and then I will have a hyperlink to YouTube. I'll give that to Rev, and Rev will make a transcript based on all that. And that's like genius. It just frees up my time to do more important and creative work as a dietitian.
I love it.
Okay.
Let's
Anything
go on
else?
to the next. Let's go on to the next trend.
I know. I love this trend. So, all about menopause diet and menopause and how dietitians can tap into that. And the baby boomers are exploding. They are going through menopause if they haven't been through it already. There's a bigger number of women experiencing menopause or perimenopausal symptoms. And this is such a great opportunity for nutrition intervention. So, Holly, what else do you have to say about it?
I just kind of think it's also in the same vein of salaries, of just something we're becoming more comfortable talking about, like normal biological processes that happen in our bodies. We don't need to have such fear, shame, stigma of talking about it. And there is a lot that we can do as dietitians to help manage and minimize those symptoms. So, some I have linked in the article for when people go visit that, a couple examples of practitioners who are specifically focused on helping women in this chapter of their lives. It's cool.
It's so cool. I think it's great. And I think that, like you said, the transparency part, there's a theme that is super helpful. As dietitians, we can help people get more fiber, more magnesium, more vitamin D. Like there's all kinds of nutrition interventions that we can tap into because the consumers are interested in it, right? That's the whole idea of trends, is that this is what consumers are wanting, and how can we meet their needs? This is what they want. They want to talk about nutrition intervention for menopause. Super
Mhm.
exciting. All right. Next one is video blogging or vlogging. I mean, that was used to be a term we used all the time, and I think it's come back around again. I put this one in here because I think that anything that we do these days has to have some sort of video element to it. YouTube and SEO are off the charts, so it's a really great way to be discovered. And with video display of your content, consumers want to see it. A lot of younger generations, Gen X, alphas, they are informed by video. I ask my teenagers how they know a particular stat or a topic, and of course they're going to say TikTok, and we could talk about that, but that's a whole other area. But the point is that's how they are consuming a lot of information, but also because of the search capability. But I think you're a big proponent of this as well. What are your thoughts on it, Holly?
It's not something I've delved into for my own business. Um, However, Google keeps adjusting and tweaking or doing big shakeups to their algorithm. Last summer and fall was pretty interesting for people in the online space. And Google is trying to provide a good experience for its users. And so by doing that, they want to provide high quality resources, evidence based articles that are valuable, authoritative, that have the right information. But they're changing it so they're offering more of a buffet of kinds of research, search results. So including pictures, including little snippets or graphics. Um, so as your blog, if you can expand to include different kinds of content, including a blog or an infographic or a picture that's properly labeled, that helps to increase the chance that people are going to see what you've created.
I think you're right. I think it also provides an element of authenticity. Like if you've got courses as a dietitian for your consumers, having a little introduction with your face that really makes it creates a relationship with your consumer that can help maybe make a sale or have just inform your client a little bit better as well. So if you've got a food blog, and I think having video for food blogs is really helpful. I think even if you've got a nutrition information blog, having some of the content that you're describing verbalized by you in a video can be very helpful. Again, it just shows that you're authentic in addition to all the SEO elements, but it just shows this authenticity about, we're talking about artificial intelligence. And I know that there are going to be video where you can create a video just based on a transcript, but I think people are looking for anything that's authentic, doesn't have to be super snazzy and high production value. I think they just want to connect with people and their eyeballs. And I think it really goes a long way. It's not that painful. There are lots of tools you can use to get, like if you want to read a script, there's a tool in InShot where you can move your eyeballs back over to the camera artificially. I tried it once, it works really well. But you can have your script over here if you're just not comfortable. But also just being your authentic self and just, saying, I'm going to read this because I want to make sure I cover all of the elements of this topic. I want to make sure you get it all. And I can't do it all off the cuff. So I think it's just a great way to connect with your audience too. Alrighty, next topic. Okay, Holly, this is a new one to me. I know nothing about this. Tell me about seed cycling.
So, seed cycling is the idea of eating a couple of different kinds of seeds throughout your menstrual cycle in hopes of people use it as an intervention for promoting fertility, for managing PCOS, and in menopause. So for the first half of your period, it's pumpkin seeds and flax seeds. And for the second half of your period, it's sesame seeds and sunflower seeds. And it has been used for a while without any big intervention studies on this as a practice, although of course there's plenty of research about the benefits of seeds, they're good stuff. But there is actually now some interesting research specifically for the application of PCOS. So, it's fun. And now there actually are some companies that sell seed cycling mixes. So one of the companies that sells these seeds ground up, so you would just add a scoop to your smoothie, your oatmeal, your yogurt, those kinds of things. Their special blend has chamomile in it too, which is anti-inflammatory and can help you to sleep. So not only is this something your clients might be asking you about, there are also companies who that's their whole mission is to help people to get more seeds into their life. So the research is still unfolding about this specific intervention, but more seeds, more plant-based foods, most of us could benefit from that.
I was just going to say, like, regardless if this is a trend or not, or if it's effective, just having a different source of omega fatty acids could be certainly helpful. And I love the idea. Like, I wonder how the keyword search is being impacted by this. It sounds like a great thing for food bloggers where you can include recipes that have these specific seeds and like when to have them. I love this. I think it's so fun. Another great opportunity for us to be part of what consumers are looking for, right? I love that.
Mhm.
All righty. It's January. That means we potentially are dry or damp or moist, as some of my friends like to call it. But so tell us a little bit more about Sober Curious.
So I think it's becoming more common for people to just kind of evaluate their relationship with alcohol and in less of a stigmatized way of if you're even thinking about this, surely you're an alcoholic. I think people are uh, able to talk about things in a more gray space way that is more realistic and human. So sober curious is goes with this January new year, new you kind of mentality, fresh start, or to kind of um, in contrast to perhaps some of the excitement and treats of December and all of the holidays. Um, so people might be wanting to drink less alcohol or take a break from alcohol or just see what it feels like to not be drinking, whether or not they have a specific endpoint in mind. So with that, people are offering mocktail recipes or even potential extra benefits like doing infusions with herbs, teas, tinctures, those kinds of things. Or for a mocktail at night, maybe adding some magnesium. That's pretty trendy right now to help you to sleep.
Oh, I like this. And I'm just thinking also about dietitians who want to work with brands or they want to work in the media. This is a really great hot topic. And also there's just a lot of brands out there providing non-alcoholic substitutes, not just like, 7 Up or Coke or something different, but a product that would mimic gin, for example, or
Mhm.
in being able to be in a party situation where you don't look so obviously with your your can of Coke or something, and everyone asking you questions, right? So so there's just a lot of opportunity for dietitians, I think, in this area. I think this also um, transitions to mental health. We talked a lot about mental health and how dietitians can play a role in diet and mentation. I think this kind of goes with it, right? I think there are more studies and more research looking at what alcohol does for cognition, Alzheimer's, or any sort of mental degenerative disease, and this sort of ties in with that. And I like the idea of dietitians being able to again reach out with what consumers are interested in and how they can bring this practice, bring this trend into their day to day life. So that's really good. These are good, Holly. All right. We've got a few more on the blog, but we're at the end of our time here today. Holly, can you tell us a little bit more about how people can connect with you and work with you?
Yes, thank you. So I am a registered dietitian. I am a nutrition copywriter. So I work two ways with people. One, for people who are looking to delegate, get some of this work off of their plate so that they can focus on the part of their business that they're better at, that they enjoy, or just have time to do. I can help. So I am going to first drop my website. So if people want to check that out. I have a booking
Whoopsie, did
form
I?
if people wants to chat. And then for people who would like to learn how to write, I have a writing course. So, and for anyone who is listening to this call live or for the recording, I have a coupon. So
Whoopsie.
is
I'm not helping you.
the course is self-paced. However, I also offer live sorry, one sec. It's hard to do the link and the talk.
Oh, I see. You're putting it into the chat. Yes, and we'll send out this information to others who that'll be in the description down below, and so we'll make sure that everybody gets that. If you want it right now, here it is in the chat as well too. Yeah, so I'll make sure that we get that. And Holly, you've got a lot of different things. You've got I call it a blog along, but you call it something else, right? Self-guided blogging together with you.
Yeah, so the course is for people who want to learn how to write because I think most of us had great training in college about how to do counseling sessions in person and on Zoom. And as we all know, it matters not just what you say, but how you say it. We all have those sticky points with our partner when they like say something and like, oh, it's not what you said, it's how you say it. Um, it matters. And so for all of us who have some aspect of working online in writing, our ability to communicate really matters. And as dietitians, we're here, we want to help. Being able to communicate efficiently, effectively with good keyword research and good strategy, it all matters. But most of us are not having any of these kind of skills taught as we're in school. So I've done lots of additional training outside of being a dietitian to learn to be a good copywriter. I love writing for my clients, and so I get to share some of the information for anybody who would be interested in joining the course.
Awesome. Thank you, Holly. She's really easy and great to work with. And just if anyone's curious, you can ask me more about that. But Holly is awesome. And she's
Thank you.
got great content too. So all of the above. Thank you, Holly, for all of that. And all of you guys know on Nutrition Jobs, we've got lots of great career courses on how to job interview. I've got this great little guide on informational interviewing and resume templates, like I talked about before, LinkedIn, resumes, salary negotiation, a whole bunch of stuff. Do subscribe to YouTube. It helps me get more content out to you. So thank you for watching this. And as always, search for lots of juicy jobs on nutritionjobs.com. And you can see now on my website, you can see little salaries. So do the salary survey so we can see what's going on. It's 100% anonymous. You can get in touch with Holly from Holly Larson Writes, and then you know how to get in touch with me, Stacey at nutritionjobs.com. Thank you so much for everybody for listening and joining. And we will be back again soon with some more ideas on how you can make more money as dietitians. Bye for now.